my name is Nancy Hay. I'm at the July 25th, 2010 annual Family Preservation Rally. If you've seen any of my videos on YouTube, you know that my daughter Sabrina was unjustly removed from my husband and me on false charges of neglect, which were later overturned, simply because she lost a few ounces after birth, which is common for most babies. However, even after we were absolved of these charges, Arlington CPS forged ahead to terminate our parental rights and place our child for adoption with a politically connected couple. The series of court trials we went through to try to regain custody of her were like something from out of Alice in Wonderland. We were always assumed guilty in spite of any evidence to the contrary. Lacking juries in the family courts, we were always at the mercy of biased judges who were working in collusion with the local political establishment, such as Esther Wiggins Lyle and James F. Allman. Throughout the trials, my husband and I were both demonized by CPS. I was accused of being severely autistic and incapable of responding to the needs of my daughter. My husband was accused of being potentially violent. This is in spite of the fact that I have an IQ of 130 and was on the dean's list in college, and neither of us have any criminal records. We have also held steady employment for over 20 years. More information about our case is available on our website, www.kitandnancy.com. On YouTube are thousands of stories of good parents whose children were unjustly removed from them on false charges by CPS. Following service plans set out for them by CPS made no difference to the outcome of their case, as CPS officials had their minds made up from the beginning, as they did in our case, that they were never going to return the children. This was evidenced in our case by the fact that only 6 months into our case, CPS Supervisor Kevin Daly stated to our lawyers that he thought Sabrina's foster parents would make excellent adoptive parents. Sabrina's foster parents were allowed to make a video of Sabrina in which they bragged that they would show the video to Sabrina on her wedding day. This shows that what the late Nancy Schaefer, God rest her soul, said is correct, that reuniting families and keeping children with their parents and protecting children is not the main goal of Child Protective Services. The Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act and the Adoption and Safe Families Act have effectively created an adoption industry where children are bought and sold to the highest bidder, much like slaves. My husband and I were trained to become professional local cable TV access providers at Arlington Independent Media, our cable provider, where we air our own stories about the corruption in CPS and the Arlington Family Court. This has helped us to make contact with other people who have been wronged by Arlington CPS. If any of you here today have public access cable channels in your area, I strongly encourage you to use them to publicize your own situations. We also go to annual public hearings of our state representatives to speak to them about corruption in Arlington CPS and family courts. We always ask them to vote against the reappointment of anti-family judges like Almond and Wiggins-Lyle. Judge Wiggins-Lyle will come up for reappointment this coming December. We can all do much to honor the legacy of Nancy Schaefer. We must demand an independent investigation into her untimely death, as it is highly unlikely that she and her husband committed suicide, as reported by the mainstream media. We must also continue her work by lobbying Congress for the repeal of CAPTA and ASFA. True justice will only come when all of the children are back where they belong with their loving parents.